Hi everyone, I'm going to do a little tutorial demo for you today. It's all about the paper curling process. So you may have seen this image I posted yesterday in the daily update. So I'm going to explain to you how to do a couple of the different types of quilling curls. So here we go. You'll need a couple of supplies. So a few things I have in front of me. I have some notebook paper, scissors. I actually have a pair of tweezers and I'll explain what they're for. Something that's rounded, you could use a toothpick. I don't really need the pencil unless I was to wrap around this pencil. Something smaller, however, does work better. I also saw something that I thought was kind of cool on a tutorial, and that was just by using an actual comb. So let me explain to you the process. You can use any kind of paper that you have available for you. It could be a piece of school lined paper, which is kind of nice, and I'll explain why in a second. But if you don't have that in front of you, it could be a piece of printer paper. You could use a piece of paper. It could be anything. It could be wrapping paper or anything like that. So what I did, and I'm just going to show you the process, is I took this paper, which is same as this piece, and I cut the line off and the little perforated edge. Now what I'm going to do is you just need something to cut. And by the way, I didn't try it yet, but you probably could, even if you happen to have something for shredding paper. It might be a little bit thin, but you could use something like that too. Now the good thing is this is already lined up for you, so you know how thick you need to cut these. They should all be consistent as far as the thickness of your paper strips. So I'm going to keep cutting and so on. So you're going to use your scissors and just try to keep it as neat as you possibly can. In addition to that, I have here some different color strips just so it's easier for you to see. Now this one is too thick. I just had some different colors and I was just beginning to trim. So these are all just about the same thickness, and that's what you want to do too. So I'm going to start out with something that's really thin, such as this toothpick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my strips. I'm going to hold it down like so, and you're going to want to wrap it. Now make sure it's tight as you keep going around. That's the hard part, is getting started. And this is when I found I liked using tweezers better, but I'll show you that too. So you're going to try keep it as neat as you can and as tightly wound as possible. The one thing I don't have in front of me, I left it in my dining room, is Elmer's glue, because I can actually glue my ends together. You can use a glue stick if you have that. And if you don't, I mean, that's okay too. We want to make this doable so you can do this project with the materials that you do have at home. Okay, so with this one, it's tightly wound on here. Now, if I wanted to, I could take a little bit of glue and just a smidgen, whether it's a glue stick or my white glue, put a little bit on there and hold it down for just a minute or two until it holds, and it doesn't take long. Again, I used Elmer's glue, the white glue, and that worked out just fine. You can actually have some of your curls be either tight or loose. They'll pretty well stay, so you can leave it like that. So to make life easier, I really found that I absolutely enjoyed using the tweezers. So with the tweezers, I'm just putting my paper in there and I wrap into this circular motion. Now I found that for me personally, this process was faster and I really didn't mind it. I did a whole bunch of them while I was just watching TV the other night. So I have it tight. Again, I'm going to let it go. I tried to kind of hold the position down. It will slightly uncurl a little bit, but that's okay. So I have a couple. So you can use whatever tool or means you have. And if you don't have a toothpick, if you don't have a pair of tweezers, you could even use a long nail. Something like that would work absolutely fine too. Okay, so there's a couple of things. I'm going to ask you to make 20 of these. Now you'll see that this one looks different. I could do that with the tweezers if I wanted to. I could do it with the toothpick. But I was watching this demo and I thought this is pretty cool. Use a comb. Now they actually sell combs specifically for paper quilling, but I wanted to use what I had available to me. So I just am using a regular comb. Now on the one side, I'm actually going to be putting this paper through. Notice the evenness of the spacing. I am holding it down with my finger so it doesn't move. And I'm starting off by putting it in between the underneath two of those spacers. Every time I go, I'm going to move it up 1. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 and put it through the third one, holding my finger in the back so it stays stationary. As I wrap it around, I'm going to wrap it around and come around that next one. Now this doesn't take very long either. And I'm constantly holding my finger on the back of it just so it doesn't unravel. Now you could even, if you need to like make sure things are staying together, notice for each time I'm doing this, I'm going like to the next one. Now for this bottom one, I'm going to come through so it's one extra little piece of that comb, one tooth, you might say. And so same thing goes with this. I'm just going one more at the top, one more at the bottom. And actually this ended nicely. If yours ends a little bit over the top, you can trim it or fold it so it goes over. So I'll show you kind of from a side view what it looks like. You can kind of see in there a little bit of how the paper looks. So with this, I took it off the comb. Now, again, I left my glue in the other room. I can do a bunch of different things with it. I can have it so it kind of has that kind of a flair to it. I can make it so it's skinny and very similar like this one is right over here. And then this is where I would add a little bit of glue to it. So I put a little smidgen right here, hold it for a minute or two, probably about 30 seconds, and then I can let that be where it is. So your assignment is going to be to make 20. Now I made these in really just a few minutes because as we're talking, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly make a second one with the tweezers because I really like using the tweezers. So you're going to make 20. 20 is the magic number. You don't actually have to glue it or anything right now. Just keep them all together. What I'm going to ask you to do is make your 20. You're going to take a picture of the 20 and you're going to send it to me either through on Schoology or you can take a picture of it, put it into your Google Drive, and then you can send me a picture of that. So 20 is the magic number, and already as we've been making this right here, and again, don't forget you have paper options. You can use, I just happen to have some different colored papers, and I thought it'd be easier for you to see that way. So use what you have available for you. If you use printer paper, that's fine. The big thing is make sure these are all about the width of the spacing of a piece of paper, which is about 1/4 inch. So you want to make sure that that's consistent and that the spacing of these are. I'm going to show you my image one more time just so you can kind of get an idea. I did some different kinds of paper curls for these, including my hearts, which is one. I'll do that one yet, and then I'll let you go. So with that one, I took my strip. Notice it's not that long. I believe it was 6 inches in length. I'm folding it in half. And just for the sake of being faster, I'm going to take my tweezers, grab an end, and I'm rolling it toward the inside. So here's one roll. I can do as few or as many as I want to. There's 4. Kind of squeeze it together, let it go. So there's my one side. I can do the other side also. Here we go. 1, 2, oopsie, 3, 4. I can get this really cute little heart shape going. So if you think you like that design, a little bit of variety is kind of nice in these, and then you can play around with the paper curl. So there you go, kind of have a cute little heart shape. And that's all you got. Okay, so 20 is the magic number. I think you'll find that this is kind of a fun, relaxing process, at least I did. You can do it while you're watching TV. Okay guys, thanks so much. There'll be more to come.